wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are changing.
Oh Lord, I see what brings me here. It's a mother to all my wanderings. The valleys green will age with me. Its dirt will shine and linger. And girls will come in fair.
Val, it is about, it's a few weeks ago. We're going back in time just a little bit to a point a little bit before You folks had started after Eli Watts, and this is sort of toward the end of the tenure around things that were going on in and around Dodge City. You're currently in the Cowtown Saloon, and things have kind of started calming down a little bit. You know that it's getting time to start moving on very soon. In any case, when after a few moments, you see sort of the person next to the bar sort of turns and walks away, and you see sort of at the end of the bar this gentleman who is just kind of looking directly at you. He gets up. He is wearing a gray tailored suit. He is hunchbacked, and he is flanked by a pair of very attractive young ladies who appear to be twins. They're wearing kind of these sort of very sort of elegant gowns, and they've just sort of been sort of quietly just sort of looking and sort of they've got their sort of hands on his shoulders, and they also kind of look up, and the gentleman is like, ladies, and he comes and he starts heading in your direction. Says, "You be I don't think I'm very much mistaken on these. You would be Miss Valentine DuPont, yes?"
She takes a long swig of whatever she's drinking. Who's asking?
Of course, I should introduce myself more properly prior to getting down to business. My name is Uriah Whately, and I've been given a missive to deliver to you.
A what?
A letter. Something I've been asked to deliver from family. I just wanted to make this delivery myself because I just wanted to get a look at this rather soon upcoming infamous young lady.
You said family? You don't seem like the type of person my brother associates with.
Well, there's a lot of different definitions of family, a lot of different things one is willing to and not willing to do for them and with them. Everyone is different in that respect, and that's actually something for which I'm quite grateful. But I speak more of relatives. These relatives would be a bit closer to me, I would think.
You think we're related?
Well, let's not jump too far ahead. That's, in a sense, a lot of us are rather related. You're probably more closely related to my dear companions back there. Well, their last names are also DuPont, just so you'll know.
No shit.
Oh, indeed. But the thing is, you're actually in a quite enviable position. Here is what I just mean to tell you. And actually, he says, he's speaking a little more quickly, and he kind of glances back over his shoulder for a second as though he kind of doesn't want them to hear what he's saying at this point. Getting to know things of the ilk, especially things involving one's family and other such things, can be rather difficult sometimes for folks. One sometimes opens a door that cannot once again be closed. And so I must ask you if you're quite certain first, before I deliver this letter to you. Do you truly want it? There is perhaps a burden inherent in it.
I mean, it's addressed to me. Yeah, I want it.
Practical woman. Very good. I can admire that. Excellent. Well, Yeah. He reaches in. He very slowly will reach into an inside pocket, and actually he'll open it up so you can see that he's pulling out a letter. It's actually one of those sort of more. It's like bound up in a delivery package type letters, flatter. And it actually has, as he's picking it up, he has one of his business cards also on top of it that he's going to place on the bar, and he will slide it over to you and says, "Have your decision on these matters. I wish you the best of luck, and perhaps our paths shall cross again." Good afternoon to you, Ms. DuPont. And he will, unless you want to say anything else to him, he's going to retreat to the other end of the bar.
What does his business card say?
Uriah Whately, attorney at law. And it has a number of, it basically lists a couple of post office boxes in a couple of different cities.
Okay, I'll open the letter.
So you open the letter. The first thing you notice is that you immediately recognize the handwriting. It says, "Dearest Valentine, much has changed since we last worked together. I have uncovered much about my own heritage and yours as well, as it turns out. I've found what may prove to be a great resource to both of our interests in the town of Desperation, New Mexico. In this town is a store of knowledge that holds the key to gaining the upper hand on my family, and I believe your condition, along with an understanding of whence it comes. The whys and the hows of it are all close to being in our grasp. We've placed our crew in a position that allows us to exploit the things this town offers to the fullest. But a number of obstacles have arisen that I think you are uniquely qualified to knock over. And remember, I know you like a challenge. There are opportunities here if you want them, and your company would be most welcome. If you come to Desperation, then I swear by my infernal line that soon neither of us will have to run from anyone ever again. Much love, Stephen."
The only weird thing she does after reading it is she sniffs it.
Oh, it's from him. Thus, that portion of the drama begins. Welcome to Deadlands, everyone. I'm Marshall Jim, some folks call me Doc. And I am very pleased to get this session going. We are finally making it to Desperation, the thing that's in the title.
Are we doing it?
We're
He said it! He said it!
We did it!
End credits!
Roll them.
Yeah,
Roll
that's
up.
everything.
That's it. Good night, everybody.
That's it. No, we made it. That's the entire show. We're gonna go around. We have you may notice we have a guest with us tonight. We are gonna go around and say hi to everybody, and sort of ask them once again to say who they are and who they're playing. I'm just gonna go straight down from me. I'm gonna start with Greg. Hello.
Hey, buddy. I'm Greg Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. But tonight, I'll be playing the Outlaw, Willie Kenner, who is a great shot, among other things. But I'll have to say this. He tips his hat rarely in this dirty, dusty world of the Weird West. But last week and right now, Willie tips his hat to Valentine DuPont, who one-shotted a creature last week.
Oh yeah. Let us never forget.
It scared the shit out of me. But anyway, let's get to it. We're in Desperation. Let's end this with tumbleweed in the middle of downtown at high noon and a gunfight. What do you say, Jim? Back to you.
I suspect that's going to be entirely possible.
Oh, God.
But let's continue down and say hello to Pope.
Hey everybody, Pope here, playing yours and mine favorite bait, Dr. Erasmus G. Hazard, who is quite thankful to still be alive, even if he is a few pounds lighter. Thanks to help from Miss DuPont. We're making it to Desperation. We're making it to dead drops and dead men. Let's see if we all get through this one. Oh, and since I was warned that we have a guest, I made it extra strong this time.
Excuse me. Extra strong, just for you.
Excuse me. I've never brought anything bad in being a guest. I bring good things.
Jim, it's too early.
It is too early. It's always too early. I don't know. I get premature cackling. But
not the premature cackling.
I know, it's terrible affliction. I'm seeing a doctor for it. We're gonna get on medication soon. But prior to that, let's move around over to Stephen. Hello.
Hello, Jim. How are you? It's great to see everybody. Great to have Katie here with us. I play Elijah Hunt DuPont. Dodge City had Bat Masterson. Wyatt Earp had Tombstone. And now Desperation has Elijah Hunt DuPont. So he's ready to go. Let's do this.
The town bartender.
He could do both.
Yeah, we will have to see how we'll have to see if you get dragged back into the old life or not. We'll have to see. Who knows?
They're
You never know. Let us move on up to Lauren. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Hello, y'all. I'm Lauren. I'm not salty ginger over Twitter. I'm playing Valentine DuPont, who's very normal and doesn't do weird things. The end.
Absolutely.
She's
Absolutely
good with
normal.
Knives.
And knives. Normality and knives.
Guess who's Perry's like 9 now? Bye.
So much parry. So much. It's amazing how much parry there is right now. And but let's keep going on this, and we're going to move up to our own Sister Ruth. Dot, hello.
Hi. I'm Dot. I'm playing your, average everyday Western nun. Just shotgun under the robes. Outlaws by my side.
Absolutely nothing unusual about the nun.
Nothing unusual about that at all.
Yeah.
Sister Ruth Ramus is just glad to make it where we're going.
Every nun I've ever known also carries a gun. That's just normal.
It's pretty normal, right? Yep.
That's how it works. I think they issued them at the convent. I'm not sure.
They are in this game.
That's right. Most likely to happen. All right, and now finally we shall head over to our guest. Katie.
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm Katie. I play Celeste Windspear, a completely normal, completely not a blast from the past Southern belle. That's all I'm playing.
Absolutely. Utter and complete normality.
Completely innocent, no bad things ever.
We'll have so much to talk about. Guess what I used to be?
Wonderful. I love it. I'm just gonna sit here with my fan and do completely normal things.
While Katie said her intro, the PCs knew she was full of shit.
I don't will appreciate being. I came out here to have a good time, and I'm honestly feeling so attacked right now.
Oh.
Ah, yes. Well then, let's get into this. So, there was a. It's been a harrowing trip. Well, not a. I perhaps shouldn't use that word. It's been a difficult trip. For these folks heading south down to the town of Desperation, New Mexico. They've had to fight murders of crows and the bloodwire men, which I guess the less said of that, the better. So let's see whatever happens. So you folks are going to be once again this party heading in to the town, and you will see that the thing about Desperation, I should point out, is it was a town built for about 1,300 people. It currently houses less than half that. There was a time, essentially back in the late 1840s, early 1850s, they built the town to, because of the gold rush. A lot of mining is taking place in the nearby mesa. Then all of the town's inhabitants vanished one day. They don't really say much about what happened, but no one wanted to be there pretty much after 1863. And then they discovered ghost rock there in the last few years. And slowly the town has been building somewhat back up, although it's kind of more haphazard. It's there's a lot of just basically scrambling around for position. Folks are as slowly a town is forming on the ruins of the old. And so this is what you come into. You're heading south along the road, and you have the town is split into two parts. You have the west side and you have the east side on either side of the road. The road goes straight through the middle. It is mostly places near the road and then closer to the mines that are inhabited. Everything else, it's a bunch of empty buildings, as far as most folks are aware. There are a few other things. You can see a mesa quite clearly, even coming up, and a few structures out near the mesa. But as you are coming into town, you're going to find that it's late afternoon. Those folks around who are still are going to be getting off work soon. Some of the miners are, maybe. But you're going to be heading in kind of on the north end. The main road is to the east of the information that I provided you with. There's a little map I've sent folks. And the map is showing everything is showing a number of blocks to the west of that road, and various things and buildings on it. So I'd just kind of like to know, as you folks, you're coming in, it's two wagons. You've got Doc's wagon, and behind it you have Professor Moon's wagon. Also, once again, you're traveling with a priest. With Reverend Baines.
Oh yeah.
Always traveling with a priest.
Forgot. He was there. We didn't leave him behind at the scary farm.
Are you sure we didn't leave him there to help the good people?
They clearly needed the Lord.
He's supposed to be coming here to take over the church. So
Oh,
That's,
God.
Yeah, at least that's what he's.
He's evil. Why haven't we killed him?
Because I'm here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Pardon.
Whoops. No. You said we're coming in north to south.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the first thing, I mean, the first inhabited building you're going to see, sort of to your right as you're heading south, is going to be the Dark Horse Roadhouse, and which looks, it's sort of a rough and tumble looking saloon. And then there are a few other buildings. Doc, you were informed that the Fives, formerly the Number 5 Saloon, is located on Payne Street, so a little bit of a ways in. And so I'm just gonna kind of, as you're kind of coming in, where are you folks gonna head? Because it is a fairly open thing at this point. We have reached the point in the campaign where they're at a settlement, a bigger settlement than ever before. And now I must see what they do.
Burn it down.
Blood everywhere.
Burn it all down.
Okay. I would probably escort the father or whoever he is to his church.
Okay. All right, that's down on the south end.
I'm convinced he's not who he says he is.
All right. You will escort him, and we will come back to you in a little bit as you're basically going to pass by. You see that there are a lot of folks here. It's kind of, you get the impression that the shadows are a little deep here. There's a lot of there's a little bit of tension in the air amongst some of the citizens, but they seem. They don't people don't immediately greet you. They just sort of are. Some folks are kind of watching as you go by, and if you look at them, they'll nod. But there's curiosity. Curiosity is afoot.
Did my letter give me any clue where to go in this town?
So, yeah, it was very vague, probably because, well, it's one of those things where he doesn't really feel as though it's good to risk too much, communicating too much.
Yeah.
He also knows that you have ways of finding him. So
I don't know what you're implying, Jim.
He imagines that you have ways of finding him, but he usually is going to do something to kind of make it so he usually does something to plan ahead.
Right. Then I think
you're probably going to see him soon.
Depending what Willie does, Val's inclination is to go to the Dark Horse.
Willie has no plans. Willie will accompany you to the Dark Horse if that is
good, because I need a gentleman defender.
Well, I don't know of any gentleman, but may I walk with you? Oh shit! Yeah, Pope. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's the doc over there.
Oh shit!
We can.
I thought Pope was giving you a swish through the basket. Nope, he was just.
Hell no, he was no. Hey, Doc, you want to come with us in case we run into trouble? You can draw it off.
That's terrible.
I feel so loved.
Oh, come on, we're just kidding around.
Actually, I need.
Yeah, we're huge jokesters.
I am.
I need to get to the Fives to unload this entire wagon, take claim of the club, and settle my business there. Though I guess I can go and say hi to the local rivals. That's going to go over well.
Sure, size them up. Maybe we'll shoot a couple of them.
I know it's just been a day, but I really would like to not have to bury anyone.
Doc, I don't even carry a gun.
You don't.
Where would I keep it?
I'm not answering that question, Miss DuPont.
Elijah said, I'll catch up to you guys in a little bit. I'm going over here to the sheriff's office. I'm going to go announce myself.
As what?
As U.S. Marshal.
Beloved fixture of the U.S.
Beloved
West.
fixture of this.
Burn.
This town's got a new
Saint
presence.
DuPont.
I'll be back. I'll see you soon.
Where'd that theme music come from?
Willie, get me a bottle one over there. I'll be over in a minute.
Where we should probably drink at Doc's place. I'm assuming it'd be way cheaper.
I'll serve it to you.
Right.
That's going to take some getting used to, but all right.
Okay, so the marshal is heading over to the town marshal's office, and everyone else is heading to the roadhouse or to the Fives, just so I'm aware.
No, we're going to go over to the roadhouse first. Go and say hi.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Cool,
I
cool.
believe the sister's going to the church.
Okay, yes.
Because she doesn't believe the father.
I mean, why would you?
Made it all this way. He's still alive.
The Father,
That's
the Son, and the
suspicious.
yes, the Father, the Son, the Holy Suspicion.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So you're going to head into a saloon. Let's see. Let me find that saloon again. There it is.
You know us, Jim. That should have been at the top of your list.
I know, right? So we're heading up to the Dark Horse Roadhouse. And you see, it's not hugely busy yet, but there are a number of folks there. I will say, on entering, that you basically will see a number of folks. There are a few folks, sort of hanging out and playing cards here. There are a few folks who are a few folks who are here drinking over at the bar. There's a bartender behind the bar. And I don't think that's going to require much notice on Val's part, but you're going to sense a familiar presence when you enter that you have not felt, a presence you've not felt for a while.
No, stop.
No, but if you look over, you see. Katie, would you please describe what Celeste looks like? Muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I will describe what she looks like. Celeste is a petite woman, pretty not really thin. She has a little bit of meat on her bones. She's sitting at a table playing cards with what were probably regulars to the Roadhouse. She's wearing very fine silk, very fine like silk gown mixed with some black checkerboard highlights on it, and it's very clear that it's the type of clothes that newly rich people would wear. It's like people who come into new money that thinks, oh, this is what rich people wear, but it's not like a very old money folks would think that this is very gaudy. She's got a parasol leaning up against her thigh. She's got a fan hanging from her wrist as she plays cards. She's laughing very loudly, having a grand old time, and showing a little bit too much décolletage, but you notice that there's a necklace around her neck with very dark, almost inky looking crow's feathers that hang around her neck. And she's got her hair, it's very, very blonde, curled immaculately, and a little pink cat sits up top her head.
Fuck me. Willie, could you just stand? Just stand. Yeah. No, just walk. We're walking. We're walking. We're
Wait.
walking.
We're just walking.
Yep, we're walking, and you are on my left. Great.
So, let me just ask briefly. Actually, sort of as things are looking around, Celeste, actually, I'd like you to make a notice roll for me, please.
Yeah, of course.
Seems unfair.
Do I have any bennies I can use?
Oh yes, good lord, I need to hand those out. Yes, you have 3. Let me go ahead.
I
and
get an
actually-
extra one because I'm a lucky son of a bitch.
That's right. You have luck. I will go ahead and I will give you yours first because you are about to roll a thing, and then I will give everyone else's. The last thing you want to do, Jim, is to forget to give out the chips. So sure enough, the last thing I did before we started was to forget to give out the chips. There it is.
You'll have to remind me
Okay.
what they do, Jim. I haven't played since March of last year.
You get a reroll with the whites. With the red, you can add a d6 to your roll. But I get a chip if you use the red chip.
Okay.
What's your role in KT?
I'm going to, because I love drama, I'm gonna use a red one.
Well, did you roll? Well, go ahead and roll the
Yeah.
make the roll first, and we'll see if you
Okay,
need
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that D6.
You want to use the d6? All right, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and add a d6. And so, yes. So that's going to give you, oh, look at that. Someone's
Yep.
trying to be stealthy.
What are you doing? Are you trying to hide?
I'm just trying to give you a hug, Willie. I'm just trying because I'm glad you're alive. So this is me. This is a hug.
Come
This
here,
is a people
Valentine.
hug. Damn it.
Yeah, Celeste, you're gonna hear this. You're gonna notice this. These folks approaching the bar.
Didn't anybody ever teach you how to hug, Willie?
3 cheers for Valentine DuPont, everybody.
Oh my god!
I will punch him in the stomach. It will hurt.
No, I'm just saying that's how you get a double nat 1 on stealth. Yeah, you have Willie Kenner with you.
Doc's just standing in a doorway staring at these two confused.
Val is like so red.
Okay.
She's so
Yeah.
red.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm giving you more for that because yes, that was beautiful. Okay.
Celeste hears this, hears all this commotion happening, and she looks up. She looks over, but she doesn't. Her eye. She has a recognition in her eyes, but she doesn't react. She looks back to the group. She goes, "Oh, Ray, I think you're right. I really don't know how to play this card game. I think I'm just gonna concede to you. You can take the winnings. How about you take your girl out for a night on the town?"
I'd be delighted, ma'am.
She
The
pushes
gentleman
the
named-
pot forward, and it's a pretty substantial pot.
The gentleman's name is Harvey, by the way, just so you're aware.
Oh, Harvey, I'm sorry. I'm bad with names.
Oh, no problem. No problem. But thanks for this.
Yeah, she pushes it forward and she lays her cards down, and she's got a pretty decent hand. It's clear she just wanted to get out of it.
Yeah.
She stands up and walks over to the group that's there.
Yeah.
My, oh my, is that Valentine DuPont I do see?
That's Liz.
What are you doing in Desperation? What's brought you this far into my neck of the woods?
Helping my friend, my senile friend here, puts a hand on, doesn't know which one to put a hand on, settles on Willie, helping him find a place to retire because he is very old.
Which, of course, is a lie. So if you know Val at all, you know that she's still a huge liar.
I've never known Val to be a liar, actually.
Well,
Yeah, Willie.
things have changed then.
She puts her hand out to you.
To Willie?
Yeah.
Willie will absolutely take it. Enchanté.
It's nice to meet you. My name's Celeste Winsfer. I'm an old friend of Valentine's.
Celeste, Willie Kenner. I am also a friend of Valentine's. We've gone over the falls together. Been through it all.
Well, it's good to know that she found someone else to trust with everything.
Doc, you want a drink?
Doc, you want to meet Celeste? Come here.
She's looking at you like she will murder you at any moment.
Well, I think we can do both. Miss Winspear, it's a pleasure to meet you. Dr. Erasmus G. Hazard.
I'm sorry. I actually, you're Dr. Hazard. I have something for you.
Oh.
She reaches into a pocket in her bustle and pulls out a little envelope for you to hand over to you. This is you own the Five in Hand Club, right?
Yes, just came into my hands, as it were.
This is your key to your building.
Ah, thank you.
I'm sort of your go-between to the person you bought it from. I don't know much more, but I was told to if I met with you to make sure this got in your hands and no one else's.
Much appreciated. How about we just mosey on over to the bar here and have a drink? I'm buying.
Oh no, I couldn't allow a new business owner to do that. It's on me. Anything you fine folks would like. Price is no object.
Well, thank you very much, Miss Winspear. It's greatly appreciated. I'm surprised Miss DuPont didn't mention that she had a friend here in Desperation.
I have lots of friends, Doc. I'm a friendly sort.
That's another lie.
Oh no, Miss DuPont is an incredibly friendly companion. Just has a need for privacy and an air of mystery about her. Walks to the bar.
I think Celeste also turns and she hesitates to put her hand on Val's shoulder, but then she pulls her hand away and then follows after Hazard.
How many people in this bar, Jim? How many? Just to know.
They're about maybe right now they're probably I'd say about eight other people besides yourselves and the bartender.
Anybody paying too much attention?
I mean, the bartender's looking at you all because
Why are you looking around like you're going to kill me to see if you can get away with it? Come on.
No one else is paying you all too much attention.
Why would I be doing that, Willie Kenner?
Because you love me.
I hate you too.
Yeah. That's the best type of love. You know the difference.
I'm going to drink everything they have at the bar. I want all the drinks, every one of them.
That's so funny. I believe you misunderstood, Ms. I think you think she said she'd like a lot of drinks. No, she said
what I said was
every single one of them.
All the drinks.
Yeah, and Jim, when Celeste said price was no object, it was no object.
Oh yeah, no, the bartender. The bartender Hank is always pleased to basically serve anyone that Celeste brings over, just because he's aware that she has money. So he will very happily he will start his drinkomancy. And I'm going to, as the drinkomancy begins, I'm actually going to shift a little bit, real quick, a little bit westward. over to the marshal's office, just a little ways down the street, since you're probably going to be, so Elijah's going to be getting there pretty quickly. And so Elijah, you get over. You see that there are a few types. They look sort of like little big guys. They're just sort of looking a little rough. Just sort of you kind of already sort of clock. There's like a guy across the street. Who's just sort of sitting and whittling, but he's you get the sense that he's just sort of keeping an eye out. And
In front of the sheriff's office?
yeah, not far from it. No, just across the across the street at the sort of across the sort of the corner on the opposite corner, over by the general store. And kind of as you come up, you see that you notice that there's another big sort of beefy gentleman. He's wearing a deputy's badge, just sort of leaning up against it. And he appears to be chewing tobacco.
Elijah is walking very confidently toward the sheriff's office. Boy, you better straighten up real nice.
He sort of turns his head, looks over at you.
I said, look at you. You're slouching around. This town needs a fixing, and you're just standing there like it's nothing.
Reads out, sort of spits.
Keeps going walking by him. I'm heading straight for where's the sheriff? I need to talk to him right now.
So you head in.
When Elijah gets in there, though, he starts kicking like things, like starts looking around like he knows what he's doing. No clue. He starts like examining the guns and how they got the jail set. He goes over to the bars, starts kicking them.
So
they look pretty good, I guess.
So, there's a jail. There's basically a few desks in here, and there's a gentleman in a. You see, there's another guy kind of was kind of sitting with his feet up behind the desk, and he just sort of gets up, sort of a slightly skinnier fellow. He stands up. You see he's wearing a deputy's badge, and he says, "Oh, hey, can I help you, sir?"
No, I can definitely. I'm here to help you.
Oh, yeah?
I am U.S. Marshal Elijah Hunt DuPont. And maybe you've heard of me. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure you have. And he kind of like leans over there, like he's looking around. He's like, there's going to be some things that I need to fix around here. I can already tell.
Oh, well, the marshal will be in.
The marshal? No, I'm the marshal.
Well, town marshal, sir.
Where's your sheriff at?
Town marshal. Well, no, it's not we don't have a county sheriff seat here. We just have the town marshal, sir.
Oh, where's he?
County sheriff seat's down in Roswell.
Roswell.
But
I like that.
No, the Marshal Ringer will be in just a few moments, sir.
Well, I need to speak with him. I'm going to tell you this. And he pulls out some paper. And it's completely bogus. You know what I mean? Something he's written up a long time ago to go when he goes into towns to show that he's here. Okay. He says, see this paper right here? And he kind of folds it up real quick before you can really look at it. That gives me jurisdiction in a lot of places. You know what I mean? I've been doing a lot of manhunting and I've been doing a lot of secret work. So
make a persuasion roll for me, please.
Yeah, I'm here to set roots up.
Oh, I cannot wait.
What bennies do I got in this particular?
You have two white chips right now. Well,
I'm gonna have to re-roll something probably at some point.
You got it.
I'll take the 7. Yep, I'll take it.
Okay, that's a 7. Deputies. Dun, 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 dun. Let me check something real quick. Okay. I'm gonna roll a d6. That's 5. Okay. He looks at it. He says, "Oh well, yeah, we'll. Well, I'm sure. I'm sure Marshal Ringer will be very interested to hear that then, sir. Is there anything?
What's
Can I
your
get
name?
you?
What's your name, son?
Oh, I'm. My name's Hank Fur, sir.
Hank Fur. Okay. Well, Hank, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've seen some things I don't like already. Just walking through the town. I've only been here a few minutes, and I report back to the U.S. government. You know where that is, right? That's way back east.
Oh yes, sir.
And I mean, you're what's his name again? What's that marshal's name again?
And from the front door, you hear, "That'd be Marshal Ringer."
Marshal
and
Ringer.
You turn around. The big guy. He's sort of barrel-chested. Big sort of wide, smiling face as he comes in. It looks, and as you sort of look at him, he's very. You can tell that he sort of has that look that he's sort of he's thick about the middle, but he also has a lot of muscle. As he comes in, he's also very tall, so he makes an imposing figure, and might possibly bear a slight resemblance to Brian Dennehy. And he is wearing a town marshal's badge on his chest.
Elijah kind of like looks him up and down.
Well,
how you doing, you Marshal? I am Elijah Hunt DuPont. I'm here to circumvent the town, and I'm gonna get some things in order around here because I don't like what I'm seeing.
Is that so?
That's definitely so. But I just want to get to know you. How are you? And he pulls out his hand.
He's going to reach his hand forward.
I plan on being here for a little while.
He will shake your hand with an incredibly strong grip.
Oh, you're a strong one. All right.
And he says, "Well,
watch the knuckles.
Oh, this should be.
I need my shoulder for shooting. You know that.
I think.
Right?
I think it's going to be quite interesting having you in town. Quite good. Can I? Looks like you just get off the road.
Yeah, we've been traveling. So
I can. I would offer you a drink, but I don't know if you're on duty right now.
Oh well, listen. You know us. We're always on duty, but always drinking too. So you know what I mean. That's the way we look at it, right?
And he reaches into a desk and he pulls out a bottle and a couple of shot glasses.
Oh, you're talking my language now, Sheriff.
Yes. I think maybe I'm gonna like you, Marshal DuPont. And he pours a couple of glasses, and he hands you one.
He takes one. He says, "Well, listen, I'm here to help you, and you can help me. So here we go." And
I'm looking forward to it.
And he shoots it immediately and slams it down.
Yeah. And he drinks as well. And we're going to pan away for a little bit. We're going to pan south to the south end of this part of town to the church. So just so you folks are aware, you pass through a good portion of the town to get you head down Payne Street. You'll see that Professor Moon has actually moved over to. He's gonna set up his cart at 2nd and Main, and so he basically but he'll head down with you just a little bit down Payne Street, and he'll before he heads off, Moon will say, "Thank you very much, sister, for everyone for accompanying. I was gonna say so to everyone, but I guess I'll see them around a little bit. I appreciate it. You're accompanying us."
Oh, well, you didn't think we was going to let you go on your own?
Oh no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And and if you want any goods, well, you'll know where to find me. I'll be here for a few days.
Well, we're heading the same place, yes?
Well, I'm gonna head down that street corner right there. I think that looks like that's where the main activity is right now. I'm gonna see if I can get in a few sales, if I may.
Oh, I need to get off. Right.
Well, no, well, you don't need to get up. Yeah.
She takes it as like, get the hell off my wagon and walk the rest of the way.
If you're on the wagon, yeah, that he's kind of pausing at the corner of
At the
Spain and
intersection.
Second.
She goes, well, my understanding is it ain't too big of a town, but big enough for the both of us.
One can but hope.
She kind of nods, and I guess she's gonna walk the rest of the way with the preacher to the church.
Okay, all right. So Moon heads down and parks his cart, and you head down with Baines. You can see Baines is looking a little nervous. Actually, it's the first time you've seen he's got like a little bit. It's not like a little sweat so much, but he's like. I kind of want to echo what he said. I appreciate you folks getting me down here.
You seem troubled.
Well, before I started heading south, I had prepared myself mentally to take a position in a town just to see if I can get back into that again.
And if you don't mind me asking, who was here before you?
I just heard tell that that they hadn't got a proper preacher in yet, so wanted to come down, and not since the 60s, so thought I'd try to come in and get it started. Get it started again. Folks of mine in town, they're going to need guidance.
I kind of look around. I agree.
We'll have to see what I can do here. Hope I can do good. Sorry.
Reverend, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we're not supposed to run on hope. We run on faith.
Very good point. Very good point. Sometimes you slip into old habits, you know. All right. And
she says, well, now I'm headed in with him. So I want to see it. I want to see this church, and I want to see if it's empty, if there's somebody here. I got to know what the hell's going on in this town. Everybody else might be drinking, but the sister only drinks coffee. So I got purpose.
As you head up to the front door opens. And you see a tall woman in white robes. In white robe. Sort of what? There's a white and black. White robe, black. She looks out. She says, "Oh, hello. How can we help you?"
I look to the Reverend.
You want to come in?
Don't we ever?
Very good. And the Reverend,
I almost like push him a little bit, like a kid going to the first day of school. I'm like, "Come on, Reverend."
Yes, and it takes him just a second, but he clicks over to talk to flock mode. And as he's stepping in, he says, yes, the GM has forgotten my first name. I'm Reverend Milton Baines. Pleasure to meet you. I thought I might come down, and as I thought this church wasn't occupied. And she says, "Oh, well, we're still fairly new here ourselves, but we think we're making some headway here. Come on in." And you look in, and you see that there are like about 3 other folks in here. Kind of they've been sort of cleaning up a little bit. Looks like there's been a service here actually that they're cleaning up after. Moving pamphlets, and you look to you see it's essentially, your standard sort of, you've got a bunch of pews and the main aisle, and at the back of the church, so you're standing up front of the narthex. So you have sort of in the back of the church, you have sort of the altar, and you see the cross up above it, and as this woman is stepping in, she says, "Oh, it's a pleasure. You look like you look like you might need to rest a bit. Maybe get some food in you. We could we're certainly welcome to share our table if you like."
That is very kind of you, but I have other business. I just wanted to see the church.
Oh, of course, of course. Well, and she looks over. Elder Fellows, could you? It's we've got visitors, and from the back of the room steps a man in red robes.
He wears red? He's a bad guy.
He's got a red overrobe, but he's wearing just sort of underneath it. He's got white vestments, and he's wearing a priest's collar. He's very tall, older gentleman. He's got a very closely cut beard, iron gray. And he says, "Ah, fellow people of the cloth, welcome, welcome." And he steps
Thank
forward.
you. I am Sister Ruth Framus. This is kind of gesture for the Reverend.
Yeah. Reverend Milton Baines. Ah, Reverend. Pleasure to meet you. He steps forward and he's extending his hand. Ruth, you do recognize the robe.
Okay, I do.
You kind of get an idea of where that. Well, it looks similar to the robes worn by the people in the Church of Lost Angels.
Oh God. I tighten my hood. I see there was a service.
Oh yes. The it seems the town has taken to it, which is a good thing, as this is a mining town. There's a lot of sin here, and so there's a lot to work on. But I think we're getting a good handle on it.
A handle? And what might you be doing that the last one didn't?
Well, we understood that there was no one here for quite some time, and we wanted to make sure we bring light to the citizens here. Oh, indeed. And he gestures to his acolytes.
I see. And when is your next sermon? I'd like to sit in on it.
Ah, well, you just missed our afternoon service, so our next one, we've got an evening service at 9, and then another one at midnight if anyone wants to come.
A midnight service.
Yeah, of course that's rather late for a lot of folks, but well.
But not for the dedicated.
No, the Lord is always watching, and there's never a bad time to make your case for him. I'd say.
I'd agree. The townsfolks, they all are in agreement and turning out. Haven't had a proper church in so long. They were yearning for it, or anybody you had to drag in?
Well, there are. I don't wish to speak ill of anyone. Of course, it's been.
If it means saving their soul, feels like it's worth it.
Oh, I see. We are perhaps on the same page here, but I shan't speak ill of them, as they still have. Everyone has to come to it in their own time. But some of the folks in. It seems that I've been trying to get some of the folks in local law enforcement to come, but they're not biting just yet. And the miners, of course, it's kind of are used to their own private lives, and so they're a little hard to sell. One might say.
I see. Well, maybe a new face in town will bring the miners out, right, Reverend?
And the Reverend is just sort of looking and says, Quite. I was looking to perhaps do some preaching here myself.
You know, Reverend, if the deputies and sheriffs and the miners won't come out, I say we bring the good word of the Lord to them.
Oh, what? And not even letting him say anything, the elder fellow says, "Why, what an excellent idea! And I'd be happy to lend a couple of our folks to your cause if it'll help."
Oh, aren't your folks preparing for the midnight service? I feel like this is something that the Reverend and I would be well suited for.
Oh, we've got much more than this here. This isn't all of us.
Really? Seems that you have a very sturdy congregation.
Oh, well, the Lord does reward those who are most faithful.
Isn't that right, Reverend? Faithful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Well, now, I have a little bit of business in town.
Just now locking eyes with fellows. Is just
yeah.
There's this staring that's starting to happen.
Well, now, as much as I'd love to stay and continue to discuss the needs of the town, I must take care of some personal business. Maybe I'll return for that midnight service.
Oh, we shall look forward to it.
So say we all. And I turn under my breath as I kind of exit. I'll cross myself, of course, as I go, say a small prayer.
Baines kind of catches you, sort of steps back and catches you before you leave. And he just sort of turns and he says, I'll probably catch up with you a bit later.
Please do, Reverend.
Yeah. Just so we can get working on pressing the flesh and all that, I suppose, with the citizenry.
Don't let me come back and find you wearing red.
Oh,
I laugh a little bit and tap him on the shoulder, knowing that like, never happened.
Yeah, he's like, no, that would be something.
Wouldn't it now?
No, that would be something entirely different.
You know what? And before I go, I turn to whoever this what did he say his name was? Gentleman in Red?
Gentleman in Red is Elder Kane Fellows.
Elder, that's what he called himself. Elder Kane, you seem to have acclimated well to the town. If I were perchance to send a letter, do you know anywhere in town I could do that?
Oh, indeed, absolutely. There's a post office not far, just a bit northways up the street, not far from the telegraph office. Which
wonderful.
Up there, corner of up there near the just a bit north of the corner of First and Payne.
Wonderful. Well, then looks like this sister is taking a stroll. I'll see you this evening. And I cross again, and this time I'm going. I'm exiting. I'm leaving. I got a letter to send.
Heading out to send letter. Okay. Before I head back to the bar, I just want to ask briefly, once again, for Elijah, just so they'll know sort of the curve of this. Are you planning to hang out for a while? He has quite a lot of whiskey available if you want it, but he will only give it to you if you wish it.
Oh, well, he would wish it. I mean, but he's trying to find out information.
Okay.
How this guy operates, what he's doing. And he'll even like kind of edge toward like, you live on the edge of law, out here, seeing how he's acting, what he's doing, what he's about almost. You know what I mean? Already sees he's drinking on the job, so he knows once
trying to feel it out. You actually know well, there are a couple of things I need you to do for me.
Okay.
I need both a notice roll and a persuasion roll.
If I gotta use one of them chips, I'll use it too.
Okay, that's your notice. That's fine.
Okay, let me do a persuasion.
Okay, that's a 3.
I will re-roll that.
All right.
So take one of them white chips away.
Okay.
Ugh. Look.
Okay, so you got a 3, but this is an opposed roll. I'm going to be rolling against you. Let me see.
Roll a 1.
Let me see. D. All right. Okay. Roll a couple of D6s. Okay, 4s. Okay. So as you're kind of talking, he's going to kind of you will notice that he's not actually drinking much himself. He like takes the initial shot, and then the rest of it he just sort of is kind of offering to you. As he's kind of sitting and chatting. He's very charismatic. He seems to be very, very persuasive. And he will he'll be basically willing to kind of apply with drink if you want it. But again, it seems from what you're able to tell, it seems as though he's very much about controlling any uprising criminal element in the town. Is very much about just sort of like get it immediately. To make sure he's also big on trying to make sure that that he knows everything that's going on and that he knows everyone in the town.
Okay.
Because different people are driven by different things.
Right.
And
do I notice anything in the vicinity that would tip him to what he likes, what he wants?
He is
deeds, and Elijah's looking on desk for deeds, land. He's looking for corruption.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that he's opposed to, but he just wants to get a feel for who he's dealing with here.
I'm going to make another quick roll, real quick. Another quick roll, real quick. Okay. What you're going to notice, it's not easy to put your finger on it, but after talking to him for a while, you get the sense that he has the confidence of someone who believes that he already has things under his thumb.
Oh, really?
As far
that doesn't work for Elijah.
As far as the town goes, it's like it's kind of like he doesn't seem to want for anything as far as things in the town goes. It's like he doesn't. You get absolutely no indication from him of corruption per se. Just that he kind of you get from him extreme confidence that he already kind of has been here long enough that he has an understanding of how things around here work.
Right.
With people. And he seems to, he doesn't seem to appeal to any authority above his own.
Right. Well, yeah, Elijah sees this, and he is, he was looking to run over somebody. Anybody he walked into, he thought he could just run over the sheriff, but he sees he can't do that with him. So he kind of starts asking questions like, well, what do we got to look out for out here? I'm going to be here, I think, a little while, and I want to help you, help me, help you. So tell me.
Oh, quite well.
Yeah.
There are a few things going on.
What are we looking at here?
And he will get into he'll start getting into some of that. And I'm going to come back to you in just
right. Well, Elijah's bad habits are he continues to drink. That's his
sure.
problem.
He's gonna keep offering it. So you're gonna start feeling feeling it. You're gonna start feeling it.
I have to go with the bad habits. So yeah.
He seems to have a lot of whiskey. So back to the bar. Meanwhile, back at the pub, as we're. So what have you folks over at the bar been doing? You've been drinking. So Val ordered everything in the saloon.
One of
All of it.
everything.
One of each.
One
And
of each.
2 of some.
The good stuff.
Okay.
So that's just been like nursing, I think, one just simple bottle or one just glass of beer the whole time.
Okay. So you've been drinking for a little bit now. There's a lot of delightful alcohol that you've been consuming. You are going to note a few more people have come into the bar at this point. Some of the miners are coming in, and so it's getting busier. You'll note one person who comes right up to the bar and actually right kind of next to you folks is a gentleman who's wearing a sort of a black hat and a black coat, and he's carrying a doctor's bag. And he comes up. He's kind of tired, and he's leans on the bar for a second, and he says, "Can you, Hank, you get me just one beer. One beer. That's it. That'll be it. That's all I'm going to take. If I ask for anything else, don't give it to me." And Hank's like, "Yeah, yes, sir." And he just sort of is like, and this gentleman, he says, "Certainly, Doc, absolutely," and sort of turns around. This gentleman sort of looks, and he turns to you and says, "Oh, I apologize for leaning in on you. As soon as they serve me, I'll get a bit of ways here. You folks new in town?"
Celeste shakes her head. Well, I'm not, but my friends here are.
Yeah,
They're
you know
passing
that
through.
you actually, yeah, you know this doctor. This is and Jim is trying desperately to pull up his name. It's there are so many. Reg Palmer. So this is Dr. Palmer, and he says, "Oh, Miss Celeste, good to see you. I've had we had someone else drop today."
I'm awfully sorry to hear that, Doctor.
Yeah. So now we got like 4 of them. We're gonna just sort of keep them in the office, try to keep them comfortable. That's basically all we can do right now.
You're not getting any.
Y'all have a sickness around here, or plague or something? Pox?
This is the thing I've been trying to figure out for a little while.
How many is it now? 3, 4?
This is the 4th one. It's there's trouble about. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's not. I'm not sure if the victims are being poisoned. It seems like it, but it actually doesn't really. Well, that's the thing. It's not poison. There's no trace of poison. It seems more like an illness. But
Doc, let's hash this.
Folks that we found out, so basically, there's something south of town that folks are hitting. They're catching. It's we found a few days ago. We found a couple of kids. They were passed out. We brought them back, and they're in a coma, but I can't figure out for the life of me what it is that the problem is.
Well, let's suss this out, Doc. Why don't we let's take a table around here? I'm not a learned man, but my friend here, our own Doc, is. And maybe if we sit down, maybe you just talking it out. I've often seen somebody with a problem, if they just talk about their problem and the things that have made it such that extra ears hear different words and produce answers.
Sharon is Karen.
This is Val.
Pleased to meet you, ma'am. I'm Reg Palmer.
Huh.
And he's an older fellow. He's very very kind of looks very tired. That's actually his main defining feature right now.
I can vouch for them, Dr. Palmer. Any friends of Val are friends of mine.
Thank you, Celeste.
Very good. Well,
Dr. Hazard here is the new owner of the building down the street here.
Oh, you bought the number 5.
Yeah, I came into it recently.
Huh. All right. No, that's great. That's good. That's been just kind of been sitting there for a little while, and since they ever since Hazel took off, that pretty much hadn't been anybody there.
I'm sure it's going to bring a huge boost to economy to Desperation.
Well, that's the hope. Slams down the gin and tonic he was nursing. And goes, yeah. So, Dr. Palmer, what are the symptoms of this illness aside from coma?
Well, and now we're going to do an intercutted conversation because some of the same information is going to be passed back and forth between people elsewhere. I will just note, just so that I have this in my memory. Ruth, where were you saying you were? Were you heading back to meet?
I am
everyone
headed
else?
back. I would think after I send the letter, which I can message you later. I guess I'm gonna go find my crew, and I know well there'll be.
Yep. Okay. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in the front door of the Dark Horse Roadhouse.
Okay. So you'll be coming in just a moment.
Cool.
And well, yeah. Actually, I think we can play with time enough to say that you're coming in at this point.
Okay.
And you're kind of see as this is happening, you see that some basically your friends are sitting at a table with a gentleman and a lady that you have not yet met. The gentleman is talking about some problems that have been occurring, and now at the same time, over at the marshal's office, the marshal is telling the marshal some of this same information that basically, he's saying, yeah, we found, a few folks have been found south of town. I was just coming back from the found a fourth one passed out. It's kind of mysterious. Not sure exactly what's been going on with it, but Doc is saying that they're in some kind of a coma. And back we see the Doc saying, yeah, I have no idea exactly how. I've been doing everything I can to try to keep them comfortable, but they are not coming out of it.
Have you considered syphilis, Doctor?
I have.
Willie is an expert.
There's not much.
Marshall, have you considered syphilis?
Reverend, have you considered syphilis?
First thing I thought about, but Doc says it ain't that. Yeah, that was the first thing the marshal asked me about, but no, not syphilis. It seems just like they just won't wake up, and if they don't eat soon, they're going to perish. There are 4 of them now. The first 2 were kids. The last 2 were adults. They always end up in this. They're always found. The thing is, in the clearing to the south of town by the old hanging tree.
May I see them?
If you like, sure. I suppose.
You should go see them. Oh, y'all should go see them. That sounds like a fun field trip.
Now, I don't know if I've had the right pleasure of meeting either of you. And I kind of look to the lady and this gentleman and make sure I properly introduce myself. I am Sister Ruth Ramus. My party seems to have started without me.
Oh, well, he's gonna let Celeste introduce herself first. But she's stuck at this point, so he's gonna introduce himself. Unfortunately, yeah.
That's
no. hopefully everything's
She'll
all right.
come back.
Oh yeah, she'll come back.
But he will. He will lean in. It's Dr. Reg Palmer. Pleasure. It's Town Sawbones. There's
And you say only 4 have become ill
thus far, yeah.
in the last how many weeks?
It's been about the last 4 days. 2 of
One
them
a
4
day
days ago.
for 4
Well,
days.
2 of them 4 days ago. One of them 2 days ago. One of them today.
Friends, we're going to let Katie get a chance to come back. We'll be right back.
As we return, I'm going to say that over at the marshal's office, they're getting low on booze, and so the town marshal is currently escorting the U.S. marshal, who is staggering a little bit, toward the saloon, toward the Dark Horse Roadhouse, as he's sort of chatting, and you will note as he's heading over, he's still telling you these things, but he's sort of waving at people. Everyone in town seems to know him.
Elijah would start waving to people too, like
Lord.
They'll also wave. As you get closer, you're starting to the stories are mingling. So at this point, I believe people were introducing themselves a little bit more to Sister Ruth, and so yes, let's go once again with introductions.
Yeah, what I say? I have not had a chance to introduce myself. I am Sister Ruth Ramus, and you are?
Oh, my name's Celeste Winspear. I'm an old friend of Val's here.
Is that right?
That's right.
I can say I've never known her to be the type to hang out with the clergy. I have to say it's
I've become very spiritual.
It's quite a change of things, honestly.
Is it? I feel like I was always probably pretty spiritual.
Well, it seems
I
that
would be in the presence of would just yell, "Oh God, oh God!" But
I do remember saying those words quite a few times in your presence. Not as much as I could have, but a couple of times.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad to know that Val keeps good company, no matter if it is past or present.
Well, she kept me coming back a couple of times, so.
I can only imagine.
The front doors swing open.
Elijah will walk in. Let's see what kind of damage I can do in here. That's the first thing he says, right?
Oh, I think you'll like this place.
Oh, thank God, it's my brother. I missed him so much.
How do?
Come over here.
Ow!
And
You can tell he's already drunk.
You see behind him this big imposing figure wearing the town marshal's badge.
Stand up to make proper introductions.
Listen, he's a town marshal.
Willie fades back into the background, just hat down.
I think Celeste does too, honestly. Just like
all y'all roll stealth checks. All y'all roll stealth checks.
I think Celeste is just like, oh God, Willie.
Willie!
I mean, not Willie, Elijah.
Willie.
She's just like,
Oh yeah, that's a Willie Canner.
That's Willie. Elijah goes straight for the bar.
Elijah, before you help yourself, why don't you introduce your friend properly?
Well, sister, thank you. You are a pillar here.
Are you talking to me?
This is city marshal, county, or whatever you want to call him. Whatever you want to call him.
Don't call him a townie.
Yeah, he's a townie.
Well, why doesn't he tell us what he likes to be called?
Quite all right.
That's Sheriff Ringer.
Yes, we know who you are.
A pleasure to meet you, sister. And he will come down and just sort of reach forward his big ham-like hand.
I'll shake it like a man.
Oh, he smiles a little bit at noticing your grip. Pleasure, folks. Everything going all right here?
Elijah would say to Val's friend, "How do you do, ma'am?" And he looks at.
Well, she does well in the presence of your sister, I've heard.
And he kind of puts his hand out. How are you? I'm Southern. I'm very gentlemanlike. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. How long has Pope been face palming? Oh, he stopped. Okay.
She takes his hand and shakes it. I don't think she she didn't ever like Elijah. She probably met him once while leaving Val's. But she
Elijah would not remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, she just it was a nod and a hello and a goodbye, and she just shakes his hand and goes, "It's awfully nice to meet you, Elijah."
To meet you, ma'am.
And then she just takes a sip of her drink.
And then Elijah would he's drunk. He's like, Doc.
Sheriff Ringer.
Indeed.
Hi. Would you consider yourself something of an expert on this here town?
Oh, quite. Something. I'm quite an expert.
Would you mind showing a lady to the nearest inn? I just need to powder my nose.
Of course.
I look at you really hard.
And
I make no eye contact with anyone.
He looks over. Miss Celeste, they've been treating you all right?
Of course. Val and I here, we go back a long time.
Good.
Way back and then up a little with a curve.
Sometimes sideways.
Well.
Upside down once, if I remember correctly.
Oh, well, this is quite
Let's
an,
hope
quite
you
an
don't.
occasion then.
You two know each other, huh? Really?
Nope.
Very well, Elijah.
Yeah, I was just about to leave. You two should talk about it in depth.
Well, we just might.
Oh, great. I cannot wait to hear your report, Marshal.
Ah.
Well then, ma'am, he says, just sort of gesturing, tipping his hat to.
She, I think she stands up and walks over to Ringer, and she takes a couple of some coins out of her purse and hands them to him, and leans in close. Make sure she gets the best accommodations, please.
Of course, absolutely. We take care of our own.
Thank you.
And you want to come along? And
Oh
just-
no, she can do as she pleases. I just want to make sure she does as she pleases in the best sort of way.
She is standing right here.
Would you prefer I take it back, Val?
I'll see you around, Sales.
Have a good
All right.
stay in Desperation.
Well then, Miss Val, she'll be happy to escort you. He says, offering his arm.
Yeah, I take it and we walk the fuck out.
All right.
Celeste is going to go over to the table she was at earlier, if there's no one there, and grab the cards. And as she's like walking back, shuffle them and sit down. Anyone up for a hand of 5-card draw?
Willie will sit down.
Well, so Doc Palmer is just sort of is like, I'm no good at that, but well, you know that. Well, I will say just before you get into that, Sister had asked if she was, if anyone was wanting to come over and see the victims. Do you still want to do that? Or?
What? Why don't the lot of you spend your time doing as you please, and let me go look at the children?
Would
you like to come, Doctor?
I
always value a second opinion if you've got one, Doctor.
I already have a second opinion from here. Sister, I have a feeling that this might be a spiritual ailment, but if you do me the favor, just check along certain veins and arteries for puncture marks. I'm just curious.
I will give them a thorough once-over.
Thank you, sister. Mighty kind of you.
All right, then. So...
Lead the way. Off the sister goes again while everybody drinks and plays cards.
We are in a saloon, Dot. What else are we supposed to do?
What the hell is
This is
the
a
sister talking about?
Western
Where's she
game.
going?
No,
What's she doing in here?
Willie doesn't need to be here, especially with the law around. He'll go with the sister.
Oh, this is fun.
So the two of you are heading off with Doc Palmer, and so that leaves Hazard and Elijah and Celeste there at the bar. Are you folks going to play cards? What are you going to do?
Oh, he'll play cards.
Celeste is going to play cards.
Yeah, we'll play some cards.
All right.
Doc wants his money back. I can already see it.
Let's see. I'm going to come back to you in just a moment in case there's anything we'd like to chat about. But first, let me see. Do I have the doctor surgery? There we go. That is, so that's just down First Avenue. And let's see. And I'm just checking the position of the hotel. That's down Payne Street. So I think folks are going to be getting to the doctor's surgery first. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle that first real quick. Willie and Ruth, you head down again. Dr. Palmer leads you down there. It's kind of it's fairly a sort of wide building. You've got he's got he opens it up, a number of beds set up. He's got medical equipment crammed everywhere, basically, and all sort of vials and bottles and everything. And you see he's got 4 beds. Well, they're more like it's actually more like 2 beds and 2 cots now that are out. And the children are on one of the beds. And then you see there's a man and a woman. Each one lying in a bed, the woman's lying in a bed, the man is lying on one of the cots.
I immediately walk in. Are they related?
Nope. No, sister. They all come from different families.
And what, pray tell, were children doing playing around a hanging tree?
Well, kids sometimes go there to play. It's it's not been used since the gold rush.
Let's see. Do any of the children, does anybody have a thing like a physical object or item that might have been on them at the time? Like a piece of a bolo tie or any kind of item. Their shoes.
Do you
Their shoes. I'm guessing they got shoes by the bed.
Yeah. You look and you see these. They've got basically by the bed next to the sort of a little end table. You see 2 pairs of shoes. You see on the end table they see clothing and personal effects of the kids, stuff they were carrying.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bundle one of the kids' set of clothing, and I kind of kneel on the ground with it just in my hands, and I'm gonna cast object reading.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to discover where it's been and what it might... I know what it's been used for, but where it's been. Caster simply hears visions of the past that took place in its presence. Success allows the caster to see events that occur within 10 yards. Ooh, the thunder's rolling over here in Georgia. Okay, so I'm going to put this in chat for you.
Okay.
So you can read it.
Thank you kindly.
Yep, so that you can get a fast forward or rewind as desired, skimming about 10 years of history per minute of real time. Damn.
All right, so yeah, you just need to make a faith roll. And
make that faith roll. Boop.
Okay,
Not
that's a success.
Perfect.
Within 10 yards up to about 5 years. Oh yeah, that's. You only need to see a few days ago. So
exactly, I only need a few days. I would think the dirt is still fresh on their shoes, you know?
Apparently, yeah. Okay. So, here's what you see. Actually, I need to ask you this specifically.
Oh my, okay.
These 2 children, you've been told, they found 4 days ago. Now, how far back? It was probably in. He'll say that he'll have said at some point they found them mid-morning.
Right? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go back. I want to be able to see what prompted the children to go out there to the tree. Like, was there any activity? Did they come in contact with someone, or was it just simple like kids playing and this is where they ended up? So probably, let's say the last week.
Okay. All right. So you're going to jump back a week and you're going to roll forward?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just needed to know kind of what order you're getting tackling this in.
Yeah. I'm going to try to just move forward pretty quickly unless something stands out that I might rewind, if that makes sense. But yeah.
So, few things you note. You see there's a lot of them. You see them playing, and you see them going to the schoolhouse, and then you see in an early evening, you see them run over and you see them throwing rocks at an old house south of town. And you see them getting yelled at by a man standing on the porch.
Okay.
It looks very severe. He's wearing glasses with some attachment on them.
Okay.
And you see them come back, and you see them going, and you see them defacing his fence. You basically see them paint a big arrow and studying to be a half-wit.
Okay.
and like crazy as popcorn.
Okay. Great. Perfect. We've insulted him. Okay.
And then you see him. It's sort of in the background, and you don't get a lot of focus on this. You see them sort of running over to the bushes, and they're watching. And so again, as you're focused on them in the bushes, they're reacting to something.
Okay.
But
I can't quite tell what.
Like, you can't quite tell what, but they're like, as you hear someone's coming up, like in some kind of, it sounds like a steam wagon, sounds like a motorized wagon. And there's like very distantly, sort of like people saying something, arguing about something.
So there are two people on the other side of the bush that the kids are laughing at. Okay.
And then coming out, and then you hear like, what the? And sort of looking around, and then you hear that sounds something like a very distant. And then there's more sort of like, no. And then they start scampering away. And then a few nights later, they're out playing. And you see out playing by kind of in the direction of the, kind of a little bit in the direction of the mesa. There again, they're outside of town.
Okay.
So it's a bit more like sort of west of where the hanging tree is. And so there are buildings out here. There are a lot of derelict, empty buildings. And melting out of the shadows, you see a figure.
Same figure as before?
Figure in black. With a scythe. I need you to make a fear roll for me, please. I need you to make a spirit check.
Do that. Not faith, just spirit. Have an 8.
Okay, that's good. That's very good.
Should I use a chip?
No. Well, let me double.
I was about to say the quake in your voice makes me think that I should.
I gotta look at a thing.
That's good.
Okay. Whew.
You're good.
Okay.
You're fine.
Damn. Okay.
You see this thing come forward, and he picks up one of the kids, and you see for a moment from the perspective of the other child, as there's this sort of, this does a strange thing with the scythe. Doesn't actually, the child seems okay, but falls limp. He puts that one down, runs after the other ones, running through between the different buildings and hiding. And eventually, for a moment, she's sort of sitting there like, and then a hand reaches in and grabs her, a gloved hand. And it happens again. And there is this figure who you can't really fully even focus on, but looks wearing black boots, black gloves, all in black.
Can I call out to it?
Hooded cloak.
I know this is a memory, so I don't know if I can do that. Sorry, I'm asking hard questions.
Oh, no, not at all. Let's see. What was your faith roll? You got a 6.
It was my faith was a 6. My spirit was an 8.
My spirit was an 8.
Reroll that faith roll.
Make a faith roll for me. You don't have to spend anything. Just make a faith roll for me. Okay.
Ah,
You got a raise.
I did.
You see it's dragging them in the direction of the tree. And what do you say? Willie, you're gonna see Sister yell something.
Yeah, I like reach my hand out and I go, state your name.
Willie Kenner?
And
Eyes are probably like rolled in the back of my head.
you see it just sort of as glances up. And you've not paid to hear my name.
The sister says, what are you doing with the children?
Taking my due.
They don't
you see
owe
it
you.
Continues dragging them in the memory toward the tree.
I break it. I'm pissed. Sister comes out pissed. I turn and I look at whoever's standing around and I go, these other two. And I point at the adults. Who are they?
Oh, you ask the doctor sort of is looking is like, oh, sure. No, they're, he points to the woman. She's one of the miners. He's, actually, I don't know him very well. He's a local gun hand. He hasn't been in town very long. I think I think he offers his services as a gun hand, security stuff, I think.
All right. And the man that lives outside town in the old house, who is he?
Oh, yeah, that's Dr. Langston. He moved up in there not too long ago.
When was the last time you heard from the doctor?
It's been a little while. It's been a few days at least.
Say a week or more?
Yeah, thereabouts.
I go over and check the kids, kind of like pull their eyes back. Do they look like whited out or glossed over? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're breathing. Bodies seem normal. Pulse, everything.
They are. Not incredibly strong pulses, but they have pulses.
Damn, I don't know that is there anything I can do with them for them at the moment. Because I don't have any wounds or anything to actually heal. Okay. Yeah.
Willie would be like, what's going on, sister?
The group you see here are all victims of a reaper. It's no sickness that ails them, unless you consider losing your soul an ailment.
Surely don't. What do we do?
I don't know yet.
You don't have to have all the answers, sister.
Yet, I said. She says, I think we ought to pay a visit, at least to the property of the doctor. See what happened to him. Because these two, and I point at the children, witnessed something. The other ones I'm not so sure of.
Saw something they shouldn't?
Possibly. It was a tussle. I'm afraid the doctor was on the wrong end of that tussle. They was picking on him. Painting up his fence. Saying offensive things. He seemed irritated when they showed up to laugh at him from the bushes. They witnessed something they ought not.
Well, losing your soul seems like a harsh crime for being a dickhead kid.
I'm afraid the children were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well.
And if you've ever worked with children, you might think otherwise.
You know me, sister.
Oh, I do. You don't have a preference for anyone.
Yeah. Present company excluded.
Your charms don't work on me.
Yeah, they do.
Too bad I ain't got a ruler.
Too bad.
Too bad. I turned the other gentleman that's with us. He said he's the town doctor.
Yes.
He overhears all of this because I don't keep it from him. And I look at him and I go, so any information that you can give us on these fine folks would be helpful. Because I'll go ahead and tell you, you don't want 4 bodies laying around without a soul for too long.
Without a soul?
Well, I did not stutter.
No, you did not. I'm prepared to entertain anything at this point.
Why do you say that?
Well, I haven't been able to figure out what's wrong with them. Trying to get them to wake up, but I can't. Nothing I do brings them back.
Well, you understand they're just a vessel. You can't wake an empty bottle.
I suppose. I suppose not. This one, he says, gesturing to the woman. This is Miss Bello. She's been mining here for about, I want to say about a year or more. This fellow, I think his name is Schilling.
Okay. And all of them, what you call mighty fine people?
Well, I don't know him very well, but
who does?
She is. Oh,
Gun for Hire don't walk into
the,
town and just pick up jobs without chatting with someone.
Well, I've seen him talking to the sheriff and his deputy, to the marshal and his deputies, the town marshal and his deputies. They probably have some say it wasn't entirely with too much familiarity, but some they seem to kind of know him, so they were checking him out. That's why I assumed he was just a for hire fellow. They sometimes bring folks in.
Do they now?
Yeah.
Well then, it's a good thing we got a marshal on our side.
Willie would lean into the sister and kind of pull his hat down a bit, shielding them from the dock. I think you got just about everything you're going to get from this one. But just because he, I don't know, treats them doesn't mean he knows them. There's somebody in this town that seems to know an awful lot of people, and right now she's dealing cards back at the saloon.
It's true. She might know him.
Might know something a doc might not.
She might. What you doing at midnight?
Me?
I did not stutter. Am I not speaking English tonight?
No, you're being very direct. I hang around with a lot of indirect people.
Well, that's because they got lots to hide.
Shit, sister, I'm with you for the long haul.
Well, I sure hope so, because if you stick with me, praise be, we won't come back second time.
All right. You just promise not to save my soul, you understand?
I've been working on saving your soul for a long time.
You have been. I appreciate it, but just don't try too hard.
I've had worse than you. And I'll ask again, what you doing at midnight?
What about that space beside you? Is that unoccupied?
If by space you mean the seat in the pew at the local church, then yes.
Then I guess that's where I'm sitting.
Good. Doctor, thank you for your valued time and information. We're going to head right back down. Oh, you know what? Did you go to the local service?
Yeah, I've attended one or two.
And all town folks do?
Not everybody, but a good portion of the town's getting into it, I think.
You like this, what do you call himself? Something special.
Oh.
You like the
elder?
The elder. You like the elder?
Oh, he's. I mean, we haven't had a holy man around for a while, so it's a nice change. Seems very personable.
He don't happen to feed you after his sermons, does he?
They do have a feast on Sundays.
Thank you.
I haven't been able to get to one because I'm working a lot of the time. But
well, I bet it's good eating.
From what I've heard, it's mostly soup.
Mm-hmm. I'll double check behind the bodies. I am gonna check their necks and stuff. Doesn't look like any like markings or anything strange, right? Okay, great.
Nope.
All right, great. I'm gonna head back to the lady dealing cards who knows the people.
Okay. So I'm kind of tempted as we're getting close here. I'm trying to figure out which scene to work with next real quick. And I think we'll go ahead and we'll go back to the saloon for a bit. Before we come back around and to Val and have a few words there. So back in the saloon is that you folks have been playing cards. What of interest has been happening? Have you folks been chatting?
Yeah, I imagine that Celeste has been trying to get to know why Hazard would buy a place out here in Desperation. That's a little confusing to her. And that's sort of been what she's focused on. She has not brought up Val once. So, I'm sorry, Dr. Hazard, why does a rundown building in Desperation interest you so? Especially one that was on the market for so long.
I did not know the proclivities of said building. I won in a game.
Oh, well, that makes the whole situation much more interesting.
Yeah, Denver's a strange place.
I guess you could consider it a blessing in disguise then.
Well, considering that the rush is back on out here and they're thinking about putting a connector not too far away, I figured it was a good time to see about my winnings and maybe invest.
Well, I don't think you'll have too much competition here. Most of us in Desperation do tend to help out each other.
Oh, well,
surprising as that might sound.
Well, it's only surprising if you've been up north.
Mr. DuPont, what do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I am a U.S. Marshal, ma'am.
Oh, have you seen I'm sorry, this is a bit surprising. I wouldn't exactly see that type of work from Val's brother.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Given the sort of things that Val does, would anyone like some more beer, maybe?
I think I need to start drinking tonic water at this point.
It's probably a good idea. Bartender, she's just gonna call out for another round.
Well, listen, Val's got her own thing. I think she just does what she wants. She don't listen to me. She just does whatever. So let me ask you something though. How do you know her? I don't recall you, and he is looking at her beauty, and you can see he's definitely like, we should probably do a round. How's that sound?
As Elijah's giving Celeste like the once over, he just loudly says, "And I raise you 10."
Oh, that's right. We are playing cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll call that, Dr.
I'm
Hazard.
cold. Go ahead, Doc.
Um, Val and I used to run around with the same sort of people, I would say.
Really? I must have been
Yes.
off at the war then.
Considering that I only met you once, it was late at night one evening when I was leaving. You were a little well, you came home rather staggered, I would
Oh,
say.
hmm.
Had a bit too much to drink, I would imagine. We exchanged
You knew what they say about moonshine, right?
that. No, I'm not sure. What did they say?
They say it really makes you stagger a lot.
Well, I also know they say that it's quite illegal in most places, but
Huh?
I don't think that Val ever cared for things being legal or illegal.
Mm-hmm. Val is full of surprises here lately with me, and things that I didn't even know about. But you might be able to shed some light on my subjects and such not. But
Is there anything I can answer for you?
well, no. We don't need to get into that right now. She's really starting to reveal herself apparently. But if you are a true friend to her, and I really respect that because she's a good girl at heart. She really is, and I really care about her, and I want the best for her. Some people may
Miss
think otherwise. Apparently, they're shaking their heads, and but I'm here to look after her, and whether she needs it or not, I'm here, and I'm going to do what I need to do. So,
she reaches up and just sort of gently touches the necklace that she wears. Val is probably one of the most important people to me that I've ever met. She's very special to me.
well, that makes me feel good about that. If you care about her, then I am 100% in your corner and hers. So, but the doc he called you.
Yeah, she probably turns. It's probably nothing more than just like a very low pair. She wasn't playing to win.
Aces over fours.
Well, looks like I got lucky this time.
I think that's roughly going to be about when we'll say that the sister and Willie are coming back at this point.
Soon as the doors open, because Doc's been facing the doors, his eyes just go wide like, save me.
Great. I walk over to, I guess, the table. I'm going to look at the table, see who's winning. Who's winning?
Well,
Hi,
we could use the
sister.
gambling system, or this has just been for fun, so you can just say who it
Who is it?
winning.
Great. Well, I see that she's right hustling all of you.
I wouldn't know if I would call it hustling more than luck.
I heard that you are the lady in town who knows a little something about everybody.
Well, I don't know if I would say I know a little something about everybody as much as I just like to make friends.
Mm. And you're friends with, say, the four folk who are laid out in cots right now? And I'll list their names off again. I'm not so worried about the kids, but the two adults.
Well, I mean, I know a little bit about Bill.
Yeah, the Fahaya who's come through.
He Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I know and what I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, take your time.
He's a gun hand for hire.
The marshals.
Yes.
You've been working with the local one. What do you know about him?
That's really all that He just comes as he's needed.
Hmm.
I don't think he's caused any trouble. I think that he keeps his head low. He does
Well,
what's
he's
asked of
found
him.
it. That's for sure.
So why are you badgering her so much? Damn.
I don't
I have
know.
a
Darn,
question.
sorry, I said darn.
I have a question, and she seems open to answer it. I suspect a lady.
A lot of questions. Though.
No, I really don't. I don't mind helping. I mean, this is a pretty serious matter.
Was I
going on.
interrupting something, Elijah?
No,
I don't.
we're not. Yeah, we were having a friendly game of poker. Doc is real and insisting on winning things.
Elijah, can I speak with you?
Yes.
And I nod.
Absolutely, sister. And he gets
Let me buy you a drink.
All right. That sounds fair.
And I walk him up to the counter and I just simply lean in and I go, those folks, the ones they think are sick, they're not sick, Elijah. One of them is a for hire for the marshals here in town.
That's not good.
No, it ain't. And I'm trying to find a common denominator here between these four. The children, they I think they witnessed something they shouldn't have. There's a small shack on the outskirts of town, just right out near that tree they're talking about. The man who lives there might be in some trouble, and I think it might give us some information. But more importantly, the woman who's laid out next to this for hire works in the mines. I had the joy of meeting the elder here in town, the new man who runs the church. And he told me that the only folks who don't show up to his sermons are the marshals. And what did I just say? The marshal, it's the marshals and the oh my God, I just threw the line and I can't even say it now.
Minor.
Thank you, and the miners.
The only people that don't go to the church.
He said the only ones who don't show up regularly. Now, considering the fact that the four of those folks are laid out without their souls, seems like a very thin line.
All right, Jesus. Why can't we go anywhere without some crazy shit? Crazy stuff happening. God,
you
almighty,
can.
Here we are again.
The Lord puts us where we need to be, Elijah.
Let me tell you something about the Lord owes me a lot of things here, man. I've seen.
Elijah, the Lord don't owe you nothing.
God, he does though. God, he beats his hands on the table. He's like, Jesus, Pete.
And what do you think the Lord owes you?
I'm gonna start calling myself Holy Warrior around here because apparently that's what I'm doing. Man, oh man, I just want to come in here, settle down,
play some cards, flirt with your sister's girlfriend.
Play some cards, flirt with the sister's girlfriend, run the town. I wanted to run the town, sister. I'm not gonna lie. I could really make some good things around here happen. Believe me.
Elijah.
All right.
You want to settle in this town and run it? That's what the Lord owes you?
Sister, I don't think any. Well, listen. I just think that we can.
Elijah, you think too small. And I put a big old hand on it. Like
okay, I'll go back and I'll just zip my lip because I'm drunk. Let you and the doc and
I slide a coin across. I promise I'd buy you another one. I'll buy you one.
Right. He takes
not for me, for him.
He taps a shot and takes it. He says, "All right, let's do what we got to do here."
What you doing at midnight?
Huh? Well, I might be passed out. I don't know. I mean, if you keep buying me shots, we might have a problem over here.
I was hoping you might like to come to church with me, Elijah.
All right, I'll go to church. I'll stop drinking.
I didn't say you had to stop drinking.
So.
Let me tell you, you have a problem with projecting.
Projecting? What is a projecting?
You put forth the insecurities that you personally have forward on other people.
Oh, huh? Well, is that even real? What are we talking about here?
Have another drink, Elijah. Maybe it'll make sense in the morning. Come on. And I'll walk over to the doctor.
I'm going to go project myself
while
over
they're
here.
While they're having their conversation, can Celeste have been talking to Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think while they walk off, she just looks over at Willie. Did the two of you find everything that you needed at the doctor's office?
Well, by everything we needed, like a mystery is afoot.
Muted.
Yeah.
Oh, am I just muted for you all? Never mind. Everybody else
You
can.
muted.
Everybody else can hear me, just not you folks. Well, you mean by everything we needed, a mystery being afoot, sister has sprung into action to solve, then yes, we have found everything.
Oh, Miss, they're not just sick or poisoned or something?
No, I've heard the term soulless bandied about.
Oh,
Soulless. Okay. Well, if you need, the two of you need any help, just please don't hesitate to let me know.
Well, it's nice of you to say that, Celeste, because there's only so much information you can get from the appropriate channels. That might be the law, that might be the Lord, or that might be your local medical official. And then there's only certain types of information you can get from those that understand the idea of boots on the ground, of what somebody really is when the chips are down, the drinks are gone, and love is not going to light up their life that night.
Well, I doubt that Val will offer up this information or even be comfortable asking for help, but the Windspear family has a very long history of doing anything but appropriate when it comes to less than natural ways of solving things.
It sounds sort of dirty.
Does it?
To me, anyway.
Well, that's also a word that's been used to describe me, so it's not the first time.
No, just the premise of everything. So your family goes back and knows these things. What about these four? Something that slipped through the cracks? Something that maybe the new marshal and his deputy that my dear friend Elijah seems so enamored with.
Willie, I genuinely don't know anything about them, but when you say the word soulless, that does sort of pique my interest. It wouldn't be the first time that a Windspear has dealt with someone who lacks a soul.
Well,
I see you and Miss DuPont have that in common.
I would say that, yes.
What do you mean?
Great.
What do you mean, her and Miss DuPont?
Willie, I played cards with this woman for an hour. I know a practitioner when I see one. No offense.
None taken. You're a lot nicer than most people would describe me.
Oh.
Well, academia gives us the luxury of niceties.
I appreciate that.
So soulless. Looks like I need to go and collect my books. I think I need to go to the club. My library was sent ahead of me.
It was very nice to meet you, Doctor. If you need any assistance getting your things, just let me know. I do also know how to go about the appropriate roads to get things.
Greatly appreciated, Miss Windspear. I apologize for Mr. DuPont and his behavior, but he's at least a very good shot.
I might beat you up, Doc.
Elijah has a lot of the things I love about Valentine, just taken to the not the very, very edge of the degree that I can handle.
That seems to be a family feature. But I have a feeling, Willie?
Doc?
Those kids, Was one of them familiar?
No, I'm afraid not, Doc.
No, that was a good thing.
Yeah, that's why I went.
All right. Well, looks like I hit the books. The sister drags Elijah around, and hopefully it's not full moon. And with that, the doc gets up and heads out to the fives.
Okay.
Hauser.
I would. So, unless there's anyone immediately in the saloon needs to just get in here, I think I'm gonna transition over. If folks are good with that.
Oh, is there music playing?
There is music playing. There is a piano player here.
Well, then Willie would say to Celeste, "Would you like to dance?"
Yes, Celeste will be a little surprised at first, but she'll put her hand out there. I would love to dance, Mr. Willie.
Well, then I would love to dance with you, Miss Celeste.
Yeah, she would dance with him gladly.
Excellent. So as the two of you start to dance, camera will pull back. And we're going to head south as, and perhaps back a little bit in time, as Valentine and Marshall Ringer are arriving at the hotel.
As soon as we got out of the goddamn saloon, I let go of his arm and I say, Colt, get your fucking sweating needy paw off me.
Of course. And it was just sort of kind of like sort of nodding to folks who says, "Oh, Valentine DuPont," and this is kind of as you're heading down there. I gotta say, it's I didn't not know that the big guns were getting called in, but I am very glad that they are.
Has anyone ever told you that you are simpering and off-putting?
Only you, Val. And I treasure it every time I hear it.
Where's Steven?
Well, yeah. And he just sort of says, "Oh, Steven's around. We can probably look. He's seeing to some. He's a bit to the south. He's seen to a few recruits, possibly. There might be an audition coming in. Just so you'll know. That's kind of throws them at folks from time to time. Oh, by the way, if you see him around these parts, they call him Boss Clayton. He's kind of de facto mayor around here."
I refuse to call him boss.
I expect, Val, that he knows just how much liberty he has with you and how much he does not. But on a more serious note, he says, as you're kind of getting within spitting distance of the hotel, I'll say, just there is trouble about. We just where is it? There it is. We lost Schilling yesterday. Something there's something going around that's taking folks. Seems like it's just taking folks out. He's not dead. He's in a coma over at the doc's place, but there are like 3 other people. There's a thing going on. I expect Reg was telling you about it.
A bit. I wasn't really listening. I tend to tune doctors out.
Well, not without reason, I hear. But no, it's something that's hopefully we can. He said, it's something that we're hoping maybe it's one of those things that I think Stephen was hoping you might be able to help with.
With?
Well, anytime there's a thing around, so this thing that's doing it to him, it's got to be. Nobody is better at hunting things like that down that I've seen than you.
What sort of guarantees can I get from my friends?
Oh, well. As you can see, we're doing quite well for ourselves here. And we're working on making this a place of earthly delights.
God, coming out of your mouth, everything sounds disgusting.
Well, let's just say if you want a piece of the town, I'm sure Steven's going to be happy to offer it to you.
No, I just don't want Stevie to be shooting my friends.
Of course not. We can use all the help we can get. You ain't after any of your friends.
Okay, so where is he? Is he going to come meet me, or I got to go out to him? His Highness.
Well, you know him. He likes to kind of make these decisions at the last minute. But if I know him well enough, I expect he'll want to see you badly enough. He'll come to you tonight if you're up for it.
If I'm not otherwise engaged, I'll be
Precisely.
up in the penthouse.
Very good. And as he sort of takes you into the hotel, he looks over. Earl, give Miss DuPont the penthouse. Put it on my tab. It is wonderful to have you back, Miss Valentine. Things are going to be different around here, and I think they're only going to get better for us. Welcome back to the Devil's Stepchildren.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to close for the night.
Bowser.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, folks, I do love a good drama.
Yeah, filled with sexual tension from this crew.
I don't know what
Filled
you're
with
talking
it.
about. I've never had
I
sexual
am
tension in my life.
Innocent and pure, and that's
So
all I'm
pure.
known
How
for.
dare you?
How dare you
How
not?
dare you?
Oh, I dared.
How dare.
I'm just as pure as the good, sweet Sister Ruth.
If you think Sister Ruth is pure, you've been missing the point.
That's why I said it. This is pure.
Awesome, folks. Well, I cannot wait to see what happens next, and so I'm ready for next week. But we're going to go ahead and do our outros. We'll say once again, tell folks where to find you and any thoughts you had about this session, and we shall start with our wonderful guest, Katie.
Hey, yeah, Jim, thank you so much for having me. Full disclosure, totally bullied my way into playing. I straight up said, Jim, I'm playing your game. that was how it happened, and that, it works 100% of the time, all the time. Yeah, I am very happy to be here. I'll be back next week, I believe, too. So I'm very happy to be back and continue this, which is basically me just making Lauren's life hell. And I'm succeeding, and I love her yelling at me in Zoom chat. And yeah, you can find me on the internet at Katie Face everywhere. Tomorrow I'll be on Off the Table playing Alas from the Awful Sea. Thursday is Monster Hearts. Friday night is Lady Blackbird. I'll be back here Friday afternoon with Monster of the Week. We're coming up on our final 3 episodes, and I'm very excited for, is it Saturday, all day on Off the Table? We're having our first Otterthon where we're going for 15 hours of streams. We're going to have Dread, Don't Rest Your Head, which Jim is running.
Nice.
Urban Shadows, and then ending with D&D. We'll be taking donations all day to affect the games. Donations are going to go toward basically upkeep of the channel, paying for our podcast editing, which if anyone does podcasts, you know how expensive that can get. Character art, and just basically just upkeep of the channel, anything we might need through, we're going to be doing this every month, so just any sort of upkeep we need. And we'd love to see you. If you want to get involved in our next month, send me a summer on our our regular Twitters or on Off the Table's Twitter, we can get you in the Discord, because right now we're just sort of keeping players just until it gets to be like more of a comfortable thing. Right now we're keeping players to the Discord, but we can get you in if you just send us a message. We'll give you an invite, and we'd love to have you playing. But yeah, you can find me on Off the Table. Follow me on Twitter. That's where I tweet about what I'm doing. And once again, thank you for having me. I love this a lot.
Hey, Katie, thank you so much for coming and playing with us. You know, I always enjoy it. If the answer was yes, it was always yes. Let us now head over to Dot.
Oh, hi, I'm Dot. I love coming here and playing this game with everybody because I never know what to expect. I never know what shenanigans we will toss out. Yeah, you know, who doesn't need a little Wild West shenanigans once a week, right? I think tonight it was fun seeing the new dynamics. We got to watch characters that like always have their cool totally like lose their cool. So yeah, I really think it's fun. It's fun to see like we've arrived at our destination, but we've also arrived at a place with looks to be a little bit of history for some people. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, I just like tonight flowed really nicely. I had a really great time. You can find me as Little Red Dot on Twitch and Twitter. I am a GM and a digital storyteller, so you'll see me on tons of awesome channels just like this one, but I do run some things on my own. And this week I kick up a brand new Teens in Space campaign, actually, Wednesday night. You can check that out. It's called 2284 Futuristical Flash. There will be lots of neons, lots of synths. It's going to be, it's my excuse to play Xenon Girl of the 21st century. It's fine. And then of course you can catch me every Saturday over on Roll For It's channel where I VTM, and throughout the week, if you need a little audio love, I do run and produce a podcast with some cool folks here in Atlanta called North by Northwest. And I'm currently the GM, so go check that out.
Awesome. Yay. I think Greg is right. This is very much a vehicle for the Sister Ruth mysteries.
Sister Ruth. What do you think I'm writing back to the paper?
This is true. So much. That's what I love about these characters is that there is so much to uncover in the histories and interactions, and it is glorious. Speaking of uncovering histories and interactions, let us head over to Lauren.
I have never had a history or an interaction in my life.
Not a single one.
Not one.
Just arrived here.
I'm newborn. I don't even know what. No, get out of my face. This was great. I'm Lauren. I'm the Salted Ginger on Twitter. I'm here a lot on Tales from the Grim for some reason. I'll be in one. Stop it. I'll be on Watchmen on Wednesday, and some Sundays, and every Monday for Realms, and then Deadlands. And I have my own channel with my best friend Kiana called Salty Sweet Games. We're playing a very, very queer game of The Witcher with me and Katie and Kiana and Lindy, GM'd by Hans. And then we have some Masks of Nyarlathotep, which I'm running for, I can't tell you yet, but all my favorite people, minus the people here. It's not weird. Bye!
Hey! Awesome. And Steven, hey.
Hey, Jim. Had a blast tonight. Katie, loved the character. I just had so much fun. Sister was real investigative and brought a lot of things to Elijah that he at no point cared about. I hate to say it like that. Is that wrong? I got into town and I was ready to all I saw was opportunity of how he could manipulate, and then you brought this ringer in. I was like, come on, man. Give me somebody that I could just walk over, and that didn't happen. So I'm ready to have fun. I mean, this is just a blast. I love everybody. I love playing. People were great, and we'll see how this turns out. So thanks. See you soon, and yada, yada, yada.
Excellent. Yes. It's always good to have a challenge. All right. And Pope, hey.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on the Twitter and on the Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. We'll put a pin. I'm gonna get back to this. If you want to see more of this ridiculous face, aside from Wednesday and some Watchmen, you can catch me over on Matev7's channel, where we get down with the neon and the dreadful beat of DJ Strahd. As things are deteriorating quickly, and my poor little dwarf is losing his goddamn mind. But we wouldn't know anything about that here. Instead, we just have mysteries, histories, full moons, mistresses of crows, bad life choices, good life choices, and biblical nonsense. So I look forward to how everything eventually blows up, and seeing Lauren just slay yet another demon that Jim puts her way, and how I will be bait for it in the future. So take care, everyone. I just want to say thank you all so much for being here with us, whether you're here live, watching on the VOD, on YouTube. You're as much of a part of the story as we are here, and we thank you for joining us. Love you all. Take care. See you soon.
Yay! Thank you so much. Well, before I hand things back off to Greg, I'll say once again, I am Jim Ryan. I am Other Doc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where I have my social observation podcast and various links to my other podcasts and audio dramas and such, various projects and game signups, which will be starting soon. Finally got my schedule together for the first half of 2020. I've got it up on my Twitter. It's my pinned tweet if anyone wants to see kind of stuff that's coming up. The first thing that I'm going to open signups for is going to be a mini campaign of Apocalypse World starting next month. So that'll be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, on my channel, most of what I'm doing right now is Invisible Sun. We're doing, I think, a development session tomorrow, but then the regular sessions are on Saturday nights. But this Saturday, before all of that, in the afternoon, I will be participating in the first Otterthon. As Katie mentioned, I'm going to be running Don't Rest Your Head. It is a favorite of mine to run. I have run it for someone here before, it is a thing I very much enjoy doing, and I cannot wait to bring that to Off the Table, because I'm hoping it will mesh well with their brand. So we will see how that goes, and I encourage everyone to check it out, because Off the Table does an awesome amount of work with their various evening dramas, and so I highly recommend folks tune into that. Aside from that, I'm here Monday nights running Deadlands, and things are coming. Things might be coming to a climax soon. We've got everything set, and soon I think things will come to a head. Full moons, I think, next day or so. I'll watch for that. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Greg.
Jim, buddy, first off, you just had to say head and climax right at the end.
I know.
There, didn't you? With this group, you had to say that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tell you.
I'm not even doing it by accident anymore. That's the sad thing.
I know. It becomes old hat. This was my favorite episode. I love this episode. I loved all of the interactions between the characters. I honestly think that the sister and Elijah scene was so good. Was really, really good. I liked it very, very much. To see, like Dot said, these new dynamics that kind of pop up, especially with a group like this. And with the addition of Katie coming in, we have this entire kind of web where we can go from these two to these three to this two to this, back and forth. And it works so well. And Jim, you're weaving it all together, buddy. Mm-hmm. And I know when people split off into three groups, that's, time to start drinking. But you do it masterfully, my friend. Thank you so very much. Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. Part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. A lot of fun things coming up this way. We have a Witcher show that's starting a week from Wednesday. We have the aforementioned Watchmen show, which is a Legion-driven narrative that is also starting on Wednesday. A lot of other fun things. We have a Bioshock-inspired Cthulhu campaign starting at the beginning of February. We have Katie with Monsters of the Week on Friday afternoon. Fantastic group of role players on Friday afternoon. Very, very fun. We just had Summer guest star last Friday. It was very incredibly awesome. But please be back here on Mondays at 6 p.m. for Realms Remembered, followed at 9 p.m. by this very show, The Road to Desperation. It is an absolute blast, a joy, a privilege to take to virtual table with everybody that you see here. I'm happy to have friends of not only this RP caliber, but of this kindness level. And that's all you can ask for in this world. Jim, you got anything else to say, bud? Or
I'm good.
Well then,
can't wait for next week.
Sorry, Steve was shaking.
Wait, one more time. One more time. It's the heart. You're trying to be. And we go out on spirit fingers. Seems accurate for today.
That's the Ferengi. So anyway, as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play, especially when it's with your friends. We'll see you next week, friends.